Every year, TV stations across the world air Christmas specials as a way to spread holiday cheer and make loads of money. You have the classics like Rudolph, Frosty, and Charlie Brown, but many others have become obscure due to a lack of quality. One of these became lost for many years, only coming back into the limelight after one of the weirdest searches in lost media history. This is the search for Rapsittie Street Kids Believe in Santa. Colin Slater is a mysterious executive producer of Rapsittie Street Kids. There's not much known about him online, though his IMDb page lists a few things. It says he was born on May 5, 1948 in Lincolnshire, England. The description, which was written by an anonymous IMDb user, says,
Colin Slater is executive producer of Wolf Tracer Studios Incorporated, which creates music-based animation for television and video. Over the years, Colin has produced over 2,000 hours of television and film. He has also been the music producer/publisher of over 400 albums since 1970 and over 4,000 hours of film and television scores. In the 70s, he was managing director of Bay City Rollers Limited, one of the most popular rock bands at the time. He has been inducted into the Academy of Television Arts and Sciences, has 1 Grammy, and had 2 ASCAP Songs of the Year.
That sounds pretty impressive, right? Well, this page barely lists anything he's worked on. It only lists him as the director for Rapsittie and Wolf Tracer's Dinosaur Island, and the producer for Friends of Forever, Tales of the Little Princess, and 2 Norfin adventure movies, though an archive exists of his resume, where Colin lists some of the projects he's worked on. These seem pretty far-fetched to me, so I won't be surprised if he lied to make his resume look more impressive. You would think that somebody so distinguished would have more known about them online, but we don't even know what he looks like. His website, wolftracergroup.com, is now defunct, though a lost media wiki thread lists much of the content that was on it. It showcased other projects Colin helped make, like Art of Darkness and Holmes and Watson, which are both completely lost. Some of the content was actually made by Colin's friend, J.R. Horsting. Many speculate that Colin uploaded these on his site to help Horsting promote them. One is the sketch comedy show Not Quite Right, which we only found 1 episode of. It looks like shit, but hey, at least he tried.
Next time on Not Quite Right.
He's sensationally challenged and he's here today to meet us. Say hello.
Kiss my placenta.
Mr. Fetus.
The other was a pilot for Junk Bots, a pretty imaginative sci-fi show that never got proper funding. Horsting says it was due to Colin going through a lot at the time, and the budget of $1.4 million was too low. $1.4 million for this? Hell yeah.
Junk Bots! I want them crushed!
Fugitive spotted leaving Mecca 5.2.
Now, something that's pretty noticeable about Colin's online presence is his mention of Xenu, an intergalactic overlord that serves as the figurehead of Scientology. It's almost factual at this point that Colin is a Scientologist, as it would explain his connection to Nancy Cartwright. Nancy is a famous voice actress known for playing Bart Simpson and various other cartoon characters. She's been heavily involved in Scientology since 1991, and donates millions to the organization every year. The two seemingly met sometime in the early 2000s, where Colin asked if she'd help fund a CG animated Christmas special for TV. Nancy, with dollar signs in her eyes, loved the idea and signed on as a producer. This theory was posited by many online, mainly by Dycaite of the Lost Media Wiki. He mentions this in the letter he sent to the Cartoon Lampoon podcast, which I'll bring up later, but basically Nancy helped fund the film, and spread the word to other industry voice actors. Could this be Colin's big break? Maybe so, if he lived in a different timeline where Colin Slater made good cartoons. Sometime in the early 2000s, a man by the name of James DeLuca slowly began working on his music career. By day he worked at his family's air conditioning company, and by night he'd be writing songs for clients and playing the drums. 2 of the songs he made were Best Kid in the World and Believe in Santa, which he thought were some of his best work. He wanted these to be incorporated in some sort of story, which is when he thought up of the original concept for Rapsittie Street Kids. He said it was about how parents were ruining Christmas by buying all these things for the kids, and there were kids that didn't have anything. And so at the end of the story, all the kids that had presents helped the kids that didn't, and the parents learned a lesson. James ended up calling Wolf Tracer Studios sometime in early 2002, pitching this film as a Christmas special. James Abner, someone who worked with Colin Slater, was originally dismissive of the pitch due to the film being costly. However, Colin ensured that they could make this film for $650,000, with help from Nancy. A deal was made, and James DeLuca was flown out to Los Angeles and given a tour of Wolf Tracer Studios. They joined with Chris Rose and his company, J. Rose Productions, who would be instrumental in this film's making. Its plot was reformed, and many famous voice actors were brought in to play the characters. Grey Griffin, voice of Daphne, Azula, Mandy, and hundreds of other characters, plays Jenna. Paige O'Hara, voice of Belle from Beauty and the Beast, plays the main girl Nicole. Jodie Benson, voice of Ariel and the Little Mermaid, plays Lene. Nancy Cartwright plays Todd. Walter Emanuel Jones, who played the Black Ranger in Power Rangers, plays the main character Ricky Rogers. And most impressive of all, Mark Hamill plays Eric. I mean, come on, you know who Mark Hamill is. I don't need to explain what big roles he's done. Due to the film's impressive cast and list of producers, WB agreed to air it on 181 of its local affiliate channels, starting on November 25, 2002. This seemed way too perfect, and it was. The film faced multiple production issues, mainly due to the name. It was originally called Bash Street Kids Believe in Santa, but the name was already taken by a British comic series. The owners of the Bash Street Kids threatened legal action, so the word Bash was changed to Rapsittie. That name was also already taken, so it was once again changed to the title we know now. The film also had an incredibly short production time, only 4 months. This caused problems with the animators, who were skilled yet not skilled enough to make a 40-minute feature in 4 months. It was also animated in 3D Choreographer, a program not known for looking great. The animators also couldn't properly model characters in this program, so they had to pay a fee to the program's developers for them to do it themselves. 3D Choreographer also only came with a few dozen stock models, meaning other assets had to be made on Photoshop, early 2000s Photoshop. Despite this, Colin Slater was optimistic. Way too optimistic, as he never even checked up on how they were doing. He would just sit by the top of the stairs and smoke, occasionally saying, "Good work, keep going." His confidence made him put up another $200,000 towards a sequel, if this film did well. The other producers were told about the animation issues, and were dumbstruck, though luckily they were able to pull through and get the film completed on time and under budget. As soon as the animators finished, they got paid and never looked back. None of the producers ever bothered watching the film before sending it off to WB, which would end up being a big mistake. The public's first introduction to this special was the announcement page from November 2002. It lists the airing dates and time slot of Rapsittie, along with a vague description. It reads,
"Every now and then, an animated program comes along that seems destined to become a classic. The Rapsittie Street Kids franchise is such a project, featuring a 1-hour musical animated special entitled Believe in Santa. It is the first of 2 holiday 1-hour specials that features the rambunctious, cool, and cute The Rapsittie Street Kids. The music soundtrack is being released to radio to coincide with the Christmas TV syndication window. The Rapsittie Street Kids are reminiscent of the beloved Peanuts characters, set in a modern-day suburbia neighborhood, and features the voices of Paige O'Hara and Jodie Benson. Ricky thought that he had the perfect gift for his classmate Nicole. After all, his teddy bear, slightly soiled, is his most precious possession. Nicole, however, is slightly spoiled. Well, very spoiled. Her version of value is, where was it bought? How much did it cost? Ricky's teddy bear scores very low in the Nicole's scale of worth, and she tosses it in the trash. Nicole later learns that the bear was the last thing Ricky's mother gave him before she died.
Based on the promo art, it seemed like a promising Christmas special. Its first air date was set for Monday, November 25th at 7 p.m., and 2 of the producers were ready to see it. On its first premiere, producer Chris Rose hosted a get-together at his house so his family could watch it with him. One of those in attendance was Chris's father, whom he had a strained relationship with. Once it began playing, shame filled his face. He began turning red and could only take it for 15 minutes before getting up and hiding in his bedroom. Soon after, he happened to catch a glimpse of his father leaving the house. Oh, and James DeLuca, the man who pitched the film, was originally invited to this get-together, but declined. I bet he never regretted that. Not that many actually saw it when it premiered, but those who did couldn't believe what they were seeing. Message boards from around this time were losing their minds over how awful Rhapsody Street Kids was. On the site, CG Society, one guy wrote,
"Oh my gosh, is anybody watching this? It's on the WB right now and it's unbelievably horrible. How did this show get made and put on the air? I hate to rip on it because some folks somewhere worked on it, but goodness gracious, I've never seen anything this truly horrific in my life."
Nope, sorry. There is no way I'm going to believe that aired on national television. Show me the proof. I believe in Santa more than I believe that Warner Brothers is that suicidal.
After some extensive detective work with Jim Colty, we managed to find some incredible evidence that this piece of shit is actually real. Go to that link, and it will tell you when it'll air in New York. I'm going to animate my ass cheeks in 3D, and sell that for a Valentine's Day special.
Okay, this is definitely real. However, there has to be something behind the fact that this horrendous piece of garbage is actually on the air. I propose 2 theories, both of which were discussed between myself and Dee Hansberry, as well as my wife and numerous other animators. 1. Some television executive's offspring was given the chance to put their introductory animated classwork on TV, a la Aaron/Tori Spelling. 2. Something much greater is at work here, most likely the devil. I know I sound harsh, and as a teacher, I always try to find the positive aspects of any work. However, I can honestly say I find no redeeming value here. In fact, it's this kind of crap that makes already cynical TV viewers say, "I hate that holiday shit."
The film aired throughout December 2002, up until Christmas, when it disappeared. It never got any home media releases, and the sequel was cancelled. DeLuca and Rose had only earned $40,000 from these airings, which pissed them off. They wanted to sue Wolf Tracer, but decided not to though, with this due to the legal costs involved. They both believed Colin was a scam artist, who pocketed some of the money to buy a vintage Mercedes-Benz. And trust me, this won't be the last time Colin's scummy nature gets mentioned. From this point forward, Rhapsody Street Kids Believe in Santa was considered lost media. Problem is, who would want to find this piece of shit? Despite Rhapsody being a colossal failure, Wolf Tracer Productions went ahead and made a new film only 2 years later. Titled Wolf Tracer's Dinosaur Island, it was released straight to DVD sometime in 2004. Not that much is known about the film's production, especially compared to Rhapsody, but it somehow got Mark Hamill back as a voice actor. Here he plays the main character, Blake, who gets stranded on a mysterious island with his 2 friends. They encounter various dinosaurs and have to escape the wrath of Captain Blood. By the end, they set off to find the lost city of Atlantis, though not without a cliffhanger.
You be going somewhere.
The credits set up a sequel titled Wolf Tracer's Dinosaur Island, The Lost City. It was set for 2007, but never released for obvious reasons. It's almost like you shouldn't make the plans for a sequel to an already shit film. The first Dinosaur Island film was already considered lost after release, joining Rhapsody, though the latter had more interest behind it, especially due to its more interesting backstory. Its sequel, titled The Rhapsody Street Kids and A Bunny's Tale, was set for an April 2003 release. It was actually scheduled on 2 different television stations, WNYT in New York and K15CZ in Missouri, on April 13th and 20th respectively. It was once believed that the special was finished and aired then, but it was later revealed that A Bunny's Tale never got made. Newspaper listings revealed that the plot would have revolved around the character Zeke, trying to regain some of that Easter magic. My guess is that Colin thought the Christmas special was going to do so well that a sequel needs to be made immediately, so he began production early to retain some of that Rhapsody hype.
What is that? Sequel. Wasn't it supposed to be something like Easter too? like an Easter
I don't know. I mean, it could have happened, but I don't know. I know. It's like it happened one time and that was it. I haven't seen it again. I should look at it.
Tease that it was going to be like an Easter special.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
So would you come back to do it if they did like a reboot?
You know what? It would be fun.
Just like,
I would come back and do it again.
One interesting tidbit about the film I have yet to mention is the bizarre story behind its soundtrack. It was originally released around the same time as the film, and featured 5 songs. Apparently, Whitney Houston of all people was advertised as making a soundtrack for the special. This was never released, though it is speculated that some of these songs were incorporated into her 2003 album, One Wish, the holiday album. Footage from Rapsittie would finally emerge in 2008, when some random YouTube user posted a Wolf Tracer highlight reel. It mainly features edited clips from both Colin Slater's films, with the description reading, "Too bad the studio went away. It made the best animation that ever existed. All praise to Xenu." The comments are full of those laughing their asses off, wishing for the film to be found. Showcases like these are what got people interested in finding the film, not really to preserve it, but so that they can continue mocking it further. During all this, Colin Slater himself began having more of a social media presence. His YouTube account was created back in late 2010, and has 30 videos. They're mainly just music he's re-uploaded along with some montages. It seems like he's trying to promote some sort of music library, as opposed to animations. His Twitter, created back in 2014, mainly just contains random retweets and promotions. Linked in his bio is the site sonicliberty.com, which allows you to access royalty-free music. He most definitely produced music for the site at one point, trying to promote whatever he can for more money. Again, this guy is shady as fuck. Though many thought if anyone were to have the film, it would be Colin. Many in the Lost Media community began reaching out to him, including the founder of the Lost Media Wiki, Dycaite. Most of Dycaite's side of the story was detailed in the previously mentioned Cartoon Lampoon podcast. They released this particular episode in September 2016, a full year after the story concluded. Dycaite sent them the following information, which will be read out to you now.
I first heard about the film back in March of 2014. It didn't take that long for me to develop an interest due to all the online negativity surrounding it, and the fact that it was seemingly not available anywhere. I started putting feelers out to track down someone that may have recorded it back when it aired in 2002. Shortly thereafter, an acquaintance of mine sent me a message that he had managed to find the director, Colin Slater, and had emailed him regarding the possibility of purchasing a copy. Much to my surprise, Colin had quickly responded, telling him that he could indeed purchase a copy, but it was going to cost him around $125 US. It apparently had to be transferred from a digibeta tape at a processing lab of sorts. Fair enough, I thought. I took over as the main point of contact, since I was the one who decided to shell out the cash. Getting in touch with Colin, I explained the situation, and that I was going to go ahead with the transaction, which he agreed to. Everything seemed fine until a few days later, when he got back to me saying that he had misunderstood, and he had 2 copies transferred to the lab, one for me and one for my friend. He was now down $250, which seems pretty absurd given the reproductive nature of digital files. But anyways, he was not the slightest bit happy, and proceeded to get really shitty with me, accusing me of having purposefully wasted his time.
Wait, sorry, so he accidentally made 2 copies.
Accidentally, just stumbled into 2 copies. Yeah.
I tripped and made a copy.
It hurt my neck.
And now I'm down $250, yeah.
After contemplating this, I humbly wrote back, apologizing for the misunderstanding, and offering to pay for both copies on the condition that I be allowed to publish the film on my website in its entirety. He agreed, and in January of 2015, I proceeded with the payment. He immediately ceased contact. Prior to being paid, he was very prompt in his replies, but every time I emailed him to confirm whether the money had transferred, I got no response. I tracked down a number of alternate contact methods, all of which I wrote to no avail. Weeks passed and I began to grow very suspicious. When it had been several months since his last response, I decided to contact the co-writer of the film, with whom I had previously been in contact with. Although she no longer knew where her copy was, I was seeking a little more information on Colin and maybe some advice on how to proceed. She informed me she no longer worked with him due to him being unreliable and untrustworthy. At this point, I was almost certain that Colin had intentionally scammed me. Then something very interesting happened. A user on the Lost Media Wiki informed me that they had recently reached out to Colin about the film. He had promptly replied that he would be willing to sell them a copy. It was then that I was sure he was flat out ignoring me. Another friend and I then began researching Colin, where we discovered all his dodgy things, such as selling plagiarized content on Amazon. We also discovered another fact, which I'll get back to soon. I continued to email Colin, getting more and more blunt and aggressive, until I conceded defeat and decided it was my own fault I lost my money, and just let it be. Then, in July of 2015, he uploaded to YouTube one of his other Wolf Tracer films, Dinosaur Island. I decided to confront him and call him out for being a scam artist in the video comments. He deleted this and disabled the video comments completely. He finally replied to my emails, accusing me of having scammed him. He tells me that even if he consented to me releasing the film, which he had, that he did not own copyright over it. Had I been told that earlier, I would have never gone ahead with the deal. A night of heated exchanges ensued. He threatened me with legal action and acted like he'd done nothing wrong. Time and again, I asked simply, "Why did you ignore my emails?" A question he never did answer. Eventually, he tells me that he had, months prior, sent a download link of the film to the acquaintance who initially contacted him. Said acquaintance had not messaged me at all regarding it, and it made no sense that if I had paid for the film, he would turn around and send it to my friend, and ignore my emails for 6 months. So yeah, I didn't buy that bullcrap. By the end of the night, we agreed we would leave each other alone if he would just give me the rightful copy of the film, which he finally did. I haven't spoken to him since, and I hope I never have to again. After waiting a few months for everything to calm down, I put the film online as part of a side event I called Found Media Week, and the rest is history. Thankfully, I haven't had any trouble for him or Wolf Tracer about it, and I don't suspect that I will. Now back to the interesting thing I discovered about Colin. On several of his social media accounts, he mentioned Xenu. Yes, that Xenu, heavily hinting that he is part of the Church of Scientology. Funnily enough, Nancy Cartwright, who financed this heap of shit, is also a Scientologist. My theory is that Colin had an in with her via Scientology, and that she was likely responsible for sourcing the voice talents of Mark Hamill, Jodie Benson, etc. That's only a theory, but it's worth considering given the apparent. That's pretty much it. It still shocks me that this piece of shit made it past quality control and aired on television, not once, but multiple times.
So yeah, because of Dycaite's efforts, Rapsittie Street Kids was finally posted online to Vimeo on September 13th, 2015. You can now very easily find it through YouTube, which is where I first watched it. I'm surprised that Dinosaur Island also got found through Colin himself, especially since he could have just used its rarity to scam people in the same way he did it with Rapsittie. But now that it's found, let's watch the film together. We start this masterpiece with whatever music that was, with PNGs of snowflakes flying across the screen. Oh boy, Comic Sans! You're off to a great start. After a minute of credits, we finally get introduced to our main character, Ricky Rogers. Ricky wants to be a rapper, and immediately starts spitting bars as soon as he gets off the bus.
It was the week before Christmas that I'm talking. I spent the day shopping with my grandma walking. All through the crowded mall, they're pumping deck the halls, pine trees with lights and all, and I'm just gawking. Cause all the toy stores are looking mighty packed. Electronic toys, video games, balls and bats.
Damn boy, those rhymes are as hot as the Windows computer this was rendered on. We see him walking down the sidewalk with his feet clipping through the ground, staring at a bunch of poorly designed toys. If only he could afford them 75 cents. Well, due to inflation, it looks like he won't be getting any toys this year. He gets home and mopes about his dead mother, who gave him this teddy bear as a sign of love. For Christmas this year, he plans on giving it to his crush, Nicole, who's a total bitch. The next day, Ricky walks up to Rapsittie Street Elementary.
Then Mommy schedules me for my own hair lady.
Smithy! Hey, Nicole, duck! I mean dinosaur!
What a little stinker. Well, after that scene of brutal violence, Ricky starts rapping more and falls into the Christmas tree.
Hey!
What's that? It's for Nicole, the honey. I know she's into money. From me she cannot hide, cause I know she's good inside.
Yeah, you're pretty cool, Ricky. Except for liking Nicole. Now that's gross.
Damn, he just called her honey. What a smooth dude. Their teacher, Mrs. Parmington, gets fucking pissed that these kids won't shut up, and yells at them like any teacher should.
Let's get ready for recess.
Good! I'm ready to skate bigger and faster than my mom can make the biggest sandwich in the world!
I'm ready to skate bigger and faster than my mom can make the biggest sandwich in the world. That could be a Bible verse for all I know.
When we return, we will exchange gifts. Can't we please give out our presents now? Please? Pretty please? I said after recess because I need a recess. Okay, let's go out and do some skating. You won't catch me hesitating. That will be enough, Ricky. Okay.
You heard her. Get to recess so she can cure her hangover in privacy. The kids play outside as Smithy gets viciously assaulted by the three bully characters.
Watch me, everyone. Watch what I can do.
I'll watch you, Nicole.
Not you. Ricky.
Oh no, he's a simp. After recess, Smithy and the bullies engage in some not safe for work activities as another student gets sexually harassed.
Ouch! Ow! Miss Parmington, get him away from me!
Get him away from me.
That means he likes you. He just doesn't know he does.
Yeah, ladies, if some random guy gropes you at the bar, it's not a big deal. He just likes you a lot. Anyways, we finally get to the moment where Ricky gives his bear to Nicole. She rejects it, as it's not lavish like her other presents. Nicole throws the bear in the dumpster instead of giving it back to him. She walks home with their friend Lene, where she starts bragging about her wealth. Ricky writes a letter to Santa, where he states his good-hearted intentions for giving Nicole the teddy bear. He drops it, allowing it to fly and land in Nicole's yard.
What do you think Santa will bring you this year? You still believe in Santa Claus? That's so last year. I suppose the tooth fairy still comes for your baby teeth.
She is actually an awful person, even to her only apparent friend. Once home, she breaks out into a song about how great she is, with her mom approving of it. It's honestly not that bad. Of course, it's still hard to watch, since everyone looks like a rejected character from Dire Straits' Money for Nothing music video. The next day, she finds Ricky's letter and opens it, which is an actual federal crime. She realizes the error in her ways almost immediately, basically speedrunning through her character development. We then get properly introduced to the best character in the film, Ricky's great-grandma. She talks like this.
Oh, see, she doesn't get it. Christmas. How?
She's voiced by Deborah Wilson, who's actually a pretty good voice actress. Many thought her recordings were corrupted, but it's actually just how she was directed to talk, like a stuttering old woman. Nicole, Smithy, and Lene go dumpster diving to find the bear, only to get heckled by the bullies.
If I didn't see it, I wouldn't believe it. Let me guess. You were thrown out of the mall, so you're shopping at the dumpster. Do they take credit cards?
Yeah, the poor little princess is turned into a garbage man.
Nicole, the ice queen. Hey, when you melt, your hair is gonna be a mess.
Wow, those are some vicious insults. Bullies don't say that kind of stuff anymore. Now they just spout racial slurs on Fortnite. The gang then break into this building and rummage around, before fucking off and heading to the junkyard. They then get attacked by guard dogs, who probably just got done eating someone's toddler. Smithy then makes the ultimate sacrifice and throws a sandwich towards Todd, He gets mauled to death along with his friends.
Just watch how smart I am!
Get him away from me!
Help! I want my money!
This is not cool, man.
They find the bear and get to Ricky's house, to which they have a heartfelt moment.
I'm so sorry.
Nicole, this was a gift for you.
But doesn't it mean a lot to you?
Yes. And so does friendship.
Yep, that happened. Anyways, Lene gets home and starts believing in Santa again, to which she breaks into song. We end on Christmas Day, where Nicole's rich family starts bragging about their wealth once again.
Oh, honey, by the time I got out of the mall, the cleaners had already closed. So I bought you a new suit.
No surprises there. That's how I get most of my suits.
Merry Christmas!
Merry Christmas!
Merry Christmas, Nicole. Let's open your presents, precious.
Oh, our princess has my good looks and your spending habits.
Clearly, Mark Hamill's best role. By the way, he was asked about this film on Twitter, and can't recall anything about it. Nicole then goes to Ricky's house and gives him a present, saying it was from Santa. He opens it and finds a knockoff DVR, what he always wanted. Lene's sister gets a pony for Christmas, which he'll probably neglect within a week. The film ends with all the characters gathering together, with Great Grandma giving us more words of wisdom.
Do you know what, Nicole? I never stopped believing in Santa. And you don't have to stop either.
I won't. That makes two of us.
Great Grandma, you always know just what to say.
Christmas! Yeah. Hey! What's that? Wow!
Believe in Santa. Yeah!
That's right. I believe in Santa.
I am so proud of you, Princess.
And a Merry Christmas to all.
Shut that door.
And it's finally over. I don't know how I got through all that, as I'm sure this is what the CIA uses to torture people. It's so hilariously awful, not only with the animation but the dialogue too. I hear many people saying how if the animation was better, it would have been a decent special, but it still would have sucked. The plot is bare bones, the dialogue is poorly written, and the character development happens within seconds. The only good thing about it is the voice talent, which is probably where most of the money went to. But still, it's a great movie to laugh at, and I'm glad it was found.
Yes! I saved you again, my friend!
You just wait. Your time will come and I'll be right there to get you.
Yeah, Smithy. All the sandwiches in the world won't make you skate faster next time.
Rhapsody Street Kids Believe in Santa quickly spread outside the lost media community and became a spectacle. My first introduction to it was back in December 2015, when Moist Critical released a video humorously commentating over the film. This was a part 1, and he finally released the second part over 2 years later.
And Ricky gets a nice big smile on his face because he knows he can afford anything he wants because he has 3 quarters. Who doesn't remember the simpler times when 3 quarters could buy you everything from a fucking Rolls Royce to a rim job from me?
Many other YouTubers covered it around this time, like The Nostalgia Critic, Rebel Taxi, and Mr. Enter. It was pretty fun seeing people rip into this pile of garbage. Many also began finding out more information about its production, which I already discussed. On June 13th, 2016, Kennedy Rose, daughter of producer Chris Rose, released a series of tweets detailing her knowledge of the film.
Story time. So way back in 2002, my dad teamed up with his friend, and they started a production company called J. Rose Productions. They had a great idea for a Christmas movie, a tale about how the best gifts come from the heart. It was going to be a huge hit. They got some great voice actors, Jodie Benson, Paige O'Hara, and Mark Hamill. If you don't know who Mark Hamill is, He was Luke motherfucking Skywalker. So then they got some animators on board. A guy with a company called Wolf Tracer. Seemed legit. Here's the concept art for the animation. Looks pretty good, right? Wrong. The animation was absolutely horrible. Everybody looked like a sex doll. My dad, however, was totally unaware of everything that was going on. He didn't check on production at all. He only saw it when it aired. On a fateful Christmas in 2002, it premiered on a bunch of stations that Warner Brothers owned. Warner Brothers approved of this and let it go on TV. Barely anyone watched. It only aired once. But when you saw it, oh God, you saw it. You could not unsee the terrible animation. You could not unhear the awful raps and whiny songs. Children screaming, parents wept. And let us not forget Grandma. Oh God, Grandma. Here is the infamous Grandma. I have the script for this movie. She was actually supposed to be saying words. So my dad dumped about $500,000 into the steaming shit pile of a movie for it to air once and never be heard of again. All the copies of the movie were lost. We could only find demo reels on VHS, until it resurfaced on YouTube in 2015. And now we have the most beautiful Christmas story of all time. Rapsittie Street Kids Believe in Santa. Fun fact 1. Whitney Houston allegedly recorded a soundtrack for this movie, yet to be found. Fun fact 2. There was a sequel scheduled to air in the spring of 2003, Rapsittie Street Kids A Bunny's Tale. This movie was my dad's biggest disappointment, besides me of course.
On June 19th, 2019, J.R. Horsting, one of the producers of the film, posted the following on his Twitter.
Colin Slater was a very smart producer, director, and creative person. He paid voice talent what they wanted and got the best. I will miss him. Those movies used a very limited software called 3D Choreographer, a partner. The production time was only 3 months. He passed away suddenly of a stroke while working on a very cool new project. It was in early 2019, I believe. I'm not sure. The fog of grief. We had lots of things planned.
It's unknown how old he was, though according to IMDb, he might have been 71. Rapsittie Street Kids is definitely one of my favorite cases of lost media. I actually covered it back in early 2020 in my first lost media related video. That video is quite outdated and my audio sounds like shit, but it was the first of many videos of mine to do really well in views. It got me to where I am now. Thanks for going on this journey with me, and I hope you guys have a safe holiday break.
Yeah, no, I would go back and do it again. I'm sure it would be even better, than what it was then. It was like at the time, it was new. Everything was new. That animation was brand new, and it was kind of rickety, but it was new for the time. It was all done on computers.